Welcome to the 3 to Our Way podcast, a weekly 1-hour conversation about sports, television, film, music, and current events. Real live, no sites. Hosted by childhood friends Sherm the Barber, Substantial, and Jay Cash. 3 to Our Way is as humorous as it is informative. We bring our odd perspectives on odd stories to you via YouTube and all podcast platforms. Our weekly show is pre-recorded, but you can catch us live on the first Sunday of every month. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Now let's get to it.
What's happening out there? How y'all doing on this fine Sunday evening? You are back for another episode of 3 to Our Way podcast. I am Sherm the Barber. We got my man Substantial the Rapper to my left. And on the bottom of the screen, we got Small J Cash.
Oh, okay. I don't appreciate that. You making me the bottom too?
I did that for Stan, man.
I say I'm old bottom, bitch. All right, I got you. Woo, boy, Friday.
So before we get too lost in the shenanigans, we want to start the show off today with a very, very important topic. One that is very, very near and dear to Brother Substantial. So I'm gonna pass it off to him, and I'm gonna let him get on with the gettings.
Yeah. Peace, everybody. Definitely, Sherm, I appreciate the pass off. Definitely, real quick shout out to all of our brothers and sisters in the Asian and Pacific Islander community. Definitely want to show love and stand in solidarity with our brothers and sisters in that community, and let everyone know that the way our community, the Black community, has been supported through all of the different troubling times that we've been through. A lot of the brothers and sisters who, of course, we had support within our own community, but a lot of the brothers and the sisters in the Asian community and the Pacific Islander community have always supported as well. And so definitely want to make sure we stand in solidarity with them, and definitely stop all this hate that's going on in this country. It's definitely here in the U.S., like everyone knows or most people know the true history of this country and the trials and tribulations that Blacks have faced in this country. But it's definitely has not been easy for Asians in this country as well. And it's a really trying time at this very moment in terms of what they're dealing with. So we definitely want to just kind of, also rest in peace to the women who were killed in Atlanta this past week. And man, it's unfortunate what we're seeing. The thing we've been hearing over and over again is that words have power, right? And so understanding that the words that we use, how we speak about each other, how we speak to each other, and when we're dealing with others, like the jokes, the insults, and the different things like the blame and all of these other things that end up creating very serious issues in different people's communities. And our community has dealt with that firsthand, and obviously their community is no stranger to it as well. So we definitely want to make sure that we're supporting them in these trying times.
All right, yeah, definitely. Good word, man.
Yeah, man.
So you got any thoughts on that before we get into more lighthearted subject matter, Cash?
My thoughts are, it's an unfortunate circumstance and a situation that happened in Atlanta. I think that the punishment should fit the crime. I'm disappointed in the response of the sheriff. I don't know if you guys heard that. He had a bad day, and he had just had enough or whatever. I'm like, take 5 days or take 5 minutes in being Black. You definitely will have had some bad days and bad times. Right. And not all of us are going out there murdering people based off of that. So I'm disappointed in that. I'm disappointed at the response that the media is giving it, period. You know what I mean? But it's kind of par for the course. That's the saddest part of it. It's par for the course.
Right.
So yeah, my heart goes out to anyone affected by this, to that community. I understand, just to the city of Atlanta, you know, because you've had some great times in the past few months, and now, you know, you got a couple situations that are starting to pop up that they don't represent who you are as a community, and they don't represent who we are as a nation, or I won't say that, who we want to be as a nation. It doesn't reflect that. So my heart goes out to them, and that's the most I got, man.
Yeah, so definitely thoughts and prayers out to all of the families involved with that horrifying incident. But yeah, so getting on to, like I said, lighter subject matter. How was everybody's weekend?
It was straight.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Mine was dope. Like, you know, just chilling, man.
That. You made me the bottom bitch. I'm over here about no weekend shit.
Here you go, Cash. Hold on, Cash. Here we go, Cash. Here we go. You know what I'm saying? You on top now, Cash. How was your weekend, Cash?
Man, listen, I'm trying to catch up on all these movies and stuff, man. I tried we're gonna talk about it later, but I did get through some of the stuff. And I've been catching to watch it. So some not Final Four, some March Madness things, man. So it's been interesting, man. It's been interesting.
Yeah, man. Yeah, my weekend was definitely dope, man. Yesterday, spent several hours over at Spizzy. They, was having an event for
that's right.
Morgan State and stuff. Yeah. But we were also there. And when I say we, Substantial Art Music, me and Rochelle were there with the kids for several hours, working with Roddy Rod. Shout out to Humble Monarch Films and Records, because Roddy Rod has a film company. And so we actually brought him in to help shoot Spizzy's first commercial. So it was super exciting, man.
Hey man, when we gonna broadcast from Spizzy, man?
Yo, soon. Look, this weather I feel like it's we're there. You know what I mean? The weather's good enough to do it. We're officially in spring. I say we do it soon, man. Like, you know, we look at this weather for the next few weeks and let's get over there by April at the latest. I think that'd be dope. You know?
Yeah,
yeah, man. They'll actually, the time we do our show to technically be closed, but we could do an earlier show that day. I think that'd be dope. You know what I mean?
Sound good to me.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So
shout out. Yeah. Sherm, how was yours, man?
Yeah, thanks for asking. All right, thanks for asking.
Right. Here you go. There you go. Back on top, bro. I'm gonna be the sacrificial lamb. You know what I'm saying?
I'm back where I belong. But yeah, I didn't do much, man. I just I took another bike ride today back to the same trail, Indian Head Trail down in Indian Head, Maryland, apparently. And I took a couple of my homeboys with me, which I rarely ever do, which was really I like riding by myself, you know, for the serenity and the peace. Serenity. But I also like riding with fellas too, because of like the camaraderie and the bonding and the effort in riding. So I took one of my homeboys who hadn't actually ridden his bike in about a year, and and my other homeboy who rides pretty regular. So yeah, we had a good ride, man. Like it says, 27 miles round trip. Yeah, he my homeboy who doesn't ride a lot, he pushed himself a hell of a lot. I was real proud of him, man. So it was a good time, man. Burnt some calories, and now I'm in here fucking my body out.
Getting those calories back.
Getting them right back.
Right back.
Come back, and I was looking for him, and I found him in the liquor store.
What'd
you say?
I said, did this liquor store have walls in it this time?
Yes, and I have labels and everything this go round, jackass. When my segment goes, I'll show you what I got, you mother.
Hey, real quick, shout out to our folks in the chat. You know, we got Avis in. Shout out to Avis. Shout out to
Hey, what
Early
up,
Bird.
bro? What up?
And shout out to Stephanie Gale, man. We love y'all, man. We appreciate the support per usual.
Y'all, thanks for coming through.
Yeah. Cassius, you ready?
I want to bust that. What's up, Steph? You don't want that, girl. You don't want that.
He still trying to get that smoke, Seth.
That's
I
right.
forgot all about that dumbass competition in school talking about, man. I was wondering what he was doing. Fuck out of here, boy.
I'm gonna go ahead and warm these toes, boy. I have to warm these vocals. You ain't ready.
Oh my God. All right, Cash, it's on you, man. We're gonna have you stick to what you know. Sports. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hey, man. All right, so sports has been picking up. We're gonna start off today's about the NFL. Well, yeah, it's the NFL. But it's about Deshaun Watson, who is a quarterback in the NFL. Stan, if you can put his picture up.
Will do.
And this picture is significant because he's black, y'all. He's black, y'all. He's black, y'all. And the reason why I think that's a part of what I'm gonna get ready to talk about is there's not many black quarterbacks. I have seen the improvement of teams that have starting black quarterbacks on their team. This one happens to be arguably one of the best ones. You know, you got Russell Wilson, who's already established. Patrick Mahomes who just won a Super Bowl, and then this guy who's an extreme talent that's playing on a team that ain't really built to win right now. And the reason why this story is significant is because he's wanted out of Houston. He demanded a trade. They spoke with him. They try to do everything they can. They actually got a new coach and everything. Part of the reason why he wanted to trade is because they're taking away some of the talent around him. He's putting up numbers. The coach was a complete dumbass. Bill O'Brien. Yes, that's who I'm talking about. He was a complete dumbass, and he let go of the best, one of the best wide receivers in the league. He traded him to the Phoenix or Arizona Cardinals for pretty much nothing. So you're asking Deshaun Watson to turn water into wine, and in the process, he puts up the numbers, but they have a horrible season. So he wanted out. He let management know. He also said that, you know, when they did fire Bill O'Brien, that he wanted a say in who they got as the head coach. And he would have liked to have had a say in what they got or who they got for the GM. Needless to say, neither one of those things happened. They went with a guy who's unproven. They went with a GM who's, you know, not really a type of guy who's known to build a contender. So ultimately, he wanted out. Why is this story significant? Well, at the point where he wanted out, he was approached by Tony Busby. And Tony Busby's a lawyer, and we'll talk about who he is afterwards, who said that there was a sexual assault allegation out there with his name on it. And he wanted a 6-figure settlement to not bring it forth. Deshaun Watson, who said he was innocent of the charge, he declined that out-of-court settlement. And Tony Busby pushed forward with the rest of them. So since that time, Tony has now brought together 7 lawsuits, and he apparently says he has more than 10 additional women that have yet to come forth saying that Deshaun Watson sexually assaulted them. Spokesperson Brian McCarthy for the NFL said that the matter is under review. They're going to look into it. He's basically being investigated by the NFL to see if he has broken any contract. Not really contract, but what's the name of it? Anyway, the agreement that the players have. Oh, it was if he broke any type of agreement that the players had, they can't get in trouble, basically. So if he would have broke anything like that, you know, the players would get fined, they would get suspended, things like that. So the NFL is now investigating it. It's a really unfortunate story for a number of reasons. And before I go into my opinion on it, I have to state that Houston Texans were once owned by Bob McNair, who infamously said during the point of the players taking a knee in protest, and that we can't have the inmates running the asylum, or we can't have the inmates running the prison. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is the he was a owner, and he passed away. The team is now owned by Cal McNair, his son. Could those traits have been passed down? I'll leave that for you to decide. But I think the thing that I found most interesting about this whole thing is that Cal McNair happens to be neighbors to the attorney that's pressing charges, Tony Busby. They're neighbors and good friends. Yes. Early said code of conduct. That's what it was. When I stumbled over it earlier, the code of conduct. That's what the NFL is investigating, whether he broke that. So the lawyer happens to be neighbors to the owner, who all of a sudden comes out with these allegations that say, hey, you sexually assaulted all these women, and it happens to be right before he's out of Houston Texans and hoping to take his career to another team and further it along in the NFL. Before I give my opinion, I want to know how you guys feel about the story and what I've laid out for you so far.
You want to go first, man? Huh?
Go ahead.
All right. I kind of exist in duality on this. On the one end, if what's going on is true, then you gotta face whatever punishment that you deserve for the crime that you're facing. On the other side of that, I'm just finding it really interesting what these, I don't know how to refer to them, but what these entities are doing with sexual assault now. And I don't want to sound like I'm excusing anything or I'm against women coming out and speaking out against sexual assault. I am not at all. But it's just really interesting to me how there's always something else tied to, or not always, but there are times when like Deshaun Watson, T.I., Bill Cosby, where there are other things tied to the other end of these accusations. Bill Cosby was allegedly trying to purchase NBC. T.I. was working with a mayor down in Atlanta. And now you got Deshaun Watson, who wanted to leave his team, and now all of a sudden he has sexual assault allegations. I find it's really concerning to me what they're doing with this, because I feel like, it's always a devil in the brew. And I feel like devil in the brew saw this and was like, yo, you can attach sexual assault to some shit, and at the end of the day, what's going to be focused on is the sexual assault allegation. Like, even regardless of how substantial the claims are, at the end of the day, that's what's going to resonate on, louder than the thing that's tied to the other end of it. And I really think that's unfortunate.
Yeah, no, I definitely hear that. What I was going to say too, I think another way to look at it is if what's going on with the allegations come out to be true, obviously that's a horrible thing. And Deshaun is deserving of whatever punishment comes his way if those allegations are true. However, I think if those allegations are also true, there's a real problem with the league and the lawyer and all of the people who've been sweeping those things under the rug and only willing to kind of put it out there, when basically his loyalty comes into question. Because, because now what it shows is that you only value these women's lives when you can use it, to your advantage. You know what I mean? And that's a real problem too. So I think, because clearly if if that's what happened, if these allegations are things that they've been just kind of sweeping under the rug and hiding for all of this time, I think that's definitely something that needs to be addressed. And Deshaun, if his hands aren't clean, then that means neither are theirs, because that means that they were aware of these things, just like we've seen time and time again. Part of the reason why I don't support the NFL anymore is because when the stuff happened with Ray Rice, they clearly knew. And they thought that they could kind of just sweep it under the rug and this, that, and the third. But when it got out, as much as he got dragged, like the team, the organization itself should have been fined, like possibly,
I was about to say. Yeah,
right? Not
the organization
technically they obstructing justice as well, right? Because if this becomes like if someone's trying to press charges and this, that, and the third, and they're hiding evidence. You see what I'm saying? So like,
but I think it should be deeper than fines, though. It should be deeper than fines.
That's what I was just saying. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah. No, that's what I was just saying. Like, because those are potential charges: obstructing justice.
Yeah.
You tampering with evidence. Those, okay, the player did something wrong, hold them accountable. But the organization were aware of these. If evidence comes out that they were aware that these things happened and they decided to keep it under wraps up until the fact he was trying to leave, and now they want to throw him under the bus. That's bullshit. They need to catch charges too, because now those women's lives are only valuable to them when they can use them like pawns to get something they want. You see what I'm saying? It's money. It's always money.
I think it's bullshit. I'm gonna be honest with you. This got bitter B syndrome written all over it. I can't have you, so nobody else can. So I find it interesting that the timing of it was what it was, and that the lawyer just happens to be good friends with and neighbors with the owner, the current owner of the team. And I think that this is all drummed up to ruin his career, because it's way too easy nowadays to believe a simple allegation. You're guilty in the court of public opinion, before you even go to trial. You know what I mean? And you can come up with, we had 30 women that stepped up and said this and everything. Where? Names. You know what I mean? Who are they? All those type of things are protected by the law. You know what I mean? But the allegations to that person are forever. You know what I mean? And the thought and the fact that you even have to debate it proceeds way beyond whether or not this even steps a foot in court or not. There's been debate online. Some people were saying, well, what would benefit the Houston Texans from doing this? You know what I mean? Or what would they gain from doing this? Mind you, this is the same team that had an issue with kneeling. It's the same team that had an issue with players taking their rights and standing on their own 2 feet and having a voice. This is the same team that was infamously, labeled the ones that said, we can't have the prisoners running the asylum or the inmates running the asylum. So it's par for the course, in my opinion, for them to come out here and trying to burn Deshaun as bad as they can. And he's a guy who's never been in trouble. He's 25 years old. Okay. Never been in trouble before. You know what I mean? And one thing too is I feel bad for young athletes in a sense, or young millionaires in this sense. You want to have fun. You know what I mean? You want to go out there. You want to meet people. You're famous. You know what I mean? And along with being famous comes a lot of those quirks and a lot of those positions. Now, people can lie all they want. Men can lie all they want and say, well, no, morally this, that, and the third. Women can lie all they want and say, well, no, I'm not attracted to such and such people who have money. When you have money and you have people who have access to you and that money, you become a whole lot more attractive, and you also become a target. At the same time, you can also use that power and also use that money in nefarious ways and be a predator along with that. I remember we had guys like what's his name? Darren Sharper.
I knew that was traveling the country, drugging women. I knew that's what he was talking about.
You know what I mean? So Darren Sharper, if you ask a group of 10 ladies about what they thought about Darren Sharper, most of them going to say, "Oh, he's fine, he's handsome, he's blah blah blah." Oh, I do this, you know how women talk the same way men talk. You had a lot of women that thought that he had appeal, and if given an opportunity,
he's a handsome brother. He's a handsome brother.
right. If they had that opportunity, they would go there with him. It did not stop him from sexually assaulting them. So I say that to say that there are some people with that type of millions and riches and things like that that still use it for nefarious ways, and then there's some that happen to be targets, you know what I mean, or happen to be a pawn in somebody else's chess game. And honestly, I think that it's more the latter than it is him sexually assaulting all these people. He's never been known to be that type of guy to be partying, never known that type of guy to, and this was brought out of nowhere. And again, if this was something that you knew prior to as an organization, why didn't you say something about it? Why do you offer him a new contract that he declined? Why do you try to retain him if he's such a bad guy that's out there sexually assaulting women?
Because of money.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. So either it's easy to use this as a pawn to destroy him, or it's easy to use women as a pawn to bring this guy down, or it's just easy because in the court of public opinion, people want to see athletes as abusive, sexually assaulting people, and that just putting the story out there is enough to ruin this guy's career. So it's not fun to even talk about it. It's not. It's not fun because it makes you take a position of, yes or no, and without knowing everything. Because some of it's protected and then some of it's exposed, you kind of in the middle game of trying to figure out for yourself and believing what you want to believe. So it's not fun to talk about it, but that's the biggest story right now in the NFL, outside of moving on, the NCAA March Madness. Now, I know you guys don't probably watch a lot of college basketball, and because this year has been as crazy as it's been, I haven't watched as much college basketball as I used to. COVID kind of messed the game up. Guys leaving early kind of messed the game up. And because of that, you have what we have right now in March Madness, and that is a clusterfuck of who knows. Who knows? I usually do a bracket every year. This year, I got all the way to the last minute. What I did was I started filling out a preliminary bracket, and it just didn't set right with me. So I usually, at the last minute, I execute and say, all right, I'm going to go ahead and do my bracket because we have a pool in my sports group. You got to pay the fee or whatever. I got cold feet at the last minute, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? And thank God I didn't do it because there's been so many upsets happening right now. And so many upsets that's happening right now that I would have lost money, you know what I mean? And I would have lost a lot of time watching that crap, you know what I mean? So just a quick rundown of the biggest upsets that happened this past weekend. Loyola, which was a number 8 team, Loyola, which is in Chicago, beat a number 1 team, Illinois. The biggest upset for me was Oral Roberts defeating Ohio State. Oral Roberts was number 15. Ohio State was number 2.
What about Georgetown? That's the biggest upset. Georgetown is out of there.
That's not really an upset per se. They won the Big East, but nobody was really.
I'm just saying, I'm upset.
Oh, you upset?
I'm
yeah,
upset that
if it makes you feel any better, Maryland has moved on, so go Terps.
Okay,
yeah, they moved on.
That does make me feel better.
Yeah, they play Alabama tonight. Alabama was a number 2 seed in the bracket, so it's been crazy, man. And honestly, I don't know whether or not it's because guys are leaving early. So, like back when, I'm not going to say when, back when we were younger, it made it easier to make predictions on NCAA because most of the guys, they were there as a freshman. They stayed there at least to their junior year, so you knew exactly what they could do and how they developed. This year, because not this year, just this year, but a lot of the one and dones have kind of moved players who are there now and then gone tomorrow. And the parity has leveled out, so it makes it easier for other teams like your Loyolas or your Creightons or any other of the not so big name schools like your Tar Heels and your Dukes who didn't even make the tournament this year.
Right.
It makes it easier
Yay!
for them to come. I know it makes it easier for them to come up, but it makes it harder for us to predict what's going to happen. So it's truly madness. It's truly unpredictable. I'm glad I didn't play this year, and I'm glad that I'm just a spectator rooting Maryland on to see if they can get at least to the next round. So that's that.
You on mute. You on mute. You muted.
Thank you. In the chat, real quick, I just wanted to share this really great comment from Steph referring to the first story you were mentioning. She was basically, it always messes the advancement of women's voices when they strategically use the cases to tarnish a person's reputation for other reasons.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think
that's the unfortunate thing because it happens, and I'm so empathetic with the real cases out there, but we don't talk a lot about the cases that are false. You know what I mean? And that is as damaging as anything. Like you ruining
that shit
ruining
lives. That's a real delicate
it's,
situation though.
It's really delicate. It's really delicate. So I appreciate the ones that come forward that have a real case. I just find it real odd. You start getting involved in some of these and you find out that it's now. I also didn't mention that Deshaun has come out and he's denied those allegations. So he has come out and he said it. It's just sad, you know what I mean? Like if this is what it's really come down to, we can't retain you, so we're going to do everything we can to ruin you on the way out. Because again, this is the same organization that left everything. The NFL will use a player and then they'll use a player and then they'll move on from you after they've used you up. You know what I mean? So God forbid you say, I want to take the destiny on my own hand, and it comes to something like this. So, but that's all I got, man. We're gonna move on. I ain't want to take too much time.
Yeah, man. All good. All good. Yeah, so peace, everybody. So this week definitely watched a lot. We all of us had the pleasure of checking out The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. If y'all want to check out our review of episode 1, definitely you can check out our video section. It is in there. So we're not going to spend any time really talking about it right now. What we are going to talk about, we ain't going to drag Cash because Cash hasn't watched it yet. You know what I'm saying? And it was definitely an epic joint to see.
I got choices to make. Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, listen.
Remember L Boogie. You are L Boogie tonight. Taking all L's.
And look, it was long. It was long. It was epic. And we are not talking about the Snyder Cut. We are talking about Verzuz. We talking about Raekwon the Chef, the Tarantula going up against Ghostface Killer. You know what I mean? The Eagle with the Wonder Woman arm joint. You know what I'm saying? Came out with like at least 2 pair of different Wallies last night. You know what I'm saying? And Line of the Night. What was it? He said, I came out.
Wallabies, man.
Huh? What'd he say?
They still rocking Wallabies, man.
Hey, he was still right. Hey, them joints was fresh though. I can't even front. He had the matching fur with it and had a line later on in a new song he played where he said something about rocking the fur looked like I fought a bear. Joke crazy, Tom. Yeah, that's the new joint.
As dope as that was, he's still rocking Wallabies, man.
I mean, yeah, and look, man, he got the 2-tone joint too. You know what I'm saying? He's still out here.
First of all, Wallabies is classic, man.
You know.
So was Butter Tim's, but
niggas still wearing Butter Tim's
in the winter. In the winter only.
Listen, not
Fuck
New
y'all.
York, but
Y'all
listen.
put me on the bottom. Fuck y'all. Both of
Niggas
y'all.
hating on the on you hating on the you get the blue and the cream, you get the blue and the cream shits.
That was 20 years ago, dog. 20.
Yo, he had the blue and cream joints on too, or they were black and white. I don't know what they were, but he definitely had some joints
In
on.
his face.
The blue and the cream shits.
Yeah.
You are a hater.
Yeah, he definitely hating right now. It's, you know what I'm saying?
Get back to the verses, man. Get back to the
Go back.
verses,
Go ahead.
man.
Back to verses. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, we gotta do it right though. Bring these champs up on the screen. But yo, so in terms of who won the battle last night, ladies and gentlemen, hip hop won. The fact that these dudes have been making music, was it the 25th anniversary of Purple Tape passed, and apparently they're working on a documentary for that, which I've signed me up for. That's one of the greatest albums in hip hop history. And yeah, man, the fact that these dudes, almost 30 years in the game, came out, they ain't just play the joints, they was like performing the joints. Shout out to the DJs. They were holding it down, playing some dope ass beats in between the sets. And the energy was just crazy, man. Shout out to T. Lucas. Had like a long conversation with him this morning, just kind of going over what we saw. And yeah, man, them dudes, man.
Like, when you talk to him.
I mean, yeah, I definitely dug my joints up. You know what I'm saying? They was a little dingy. It's cool. We out here in these streets. It is what it is.
They had the illest gangster lean.
You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, But look, man, them joints.
So tell me.
Keep cash at the bottom.
Nah, listen. I'm gonna watch it.
Put it over your face and
like
everything.
That's how y'all do. Y'all doing me dirty today. Damn. Hey, all right. So, did they go over their own music as well as do their joint?
Listen, Linda. Hey, man, these dudes, the collabs, the remixes, the features, the solo stuff, the group joints, like new joints that came out in the last 5 years, dog, like everything but the kitchen sink, my dude, like everything. I mean, Ghost came out did a special delivery remix, dog, like that just lets you know how deep, like, they played the Jodeci remix, dog, like
I can't find that anywhere. Thank you very much.
Son, people forget, like, I really, and I think this is why it's so important, man, like, listen, we look, I mean, who doesn't love new shit, right? Like, who doesn't? But like, it's our job to preserve this classic shit, man. Like, because people forget, we love that shit and we forget. You know what I mean? So like, when they were playing them joints, I saw someone in the comments mention the Jodeci shit, and I was like, fuck, like I completely forgot about that joint.
We like to talk about we like to talk about how Redman transcended the underground and brought the underground to the mainstream. Ghostface definitely held his own in doing that shit as well, because like you said, in Ghostface joints, I feel like Ghostface was he had a more humble personality than Method Man. So Method Man's joints are going to shine more, but Ghostface's catalog probably you can probably measure that shit up with Meth as far as joints that transcended the underground.
I'll go a step further. Like, Ghost probably, in my opinion, has the best solo catalog of all of Wu-Tang. You know what I mean? Like, I agree. Yeah, it's like who? And when Meth kind of had his moment and started to kind of fall off a bit in terms of mainstream joint, Ghost stayed in the conversation. Ghost stayed in the conversation for quite some time. You know what I mean? And so, like, salute to these dudes, man. What'd you say? What do you say?
The thoughts of substantial are not necessarily shared by those of Three the Hard Way podcast, and are solely represented.
My segment, nigga. It's my segment. I won't. When I won't.
Hey, can you erase him off the screen again?
Yeah. Hold on. Watch this. So
Oh, word. All right.
Yo, but yeah, man, look. All I'm saying is, everybody, do yourselves a favor. If you did not watch the Versus joint from last night, go watch that joint. And just to let y'all know, if y'all are enjoying the Versus joints as much as we are, the next one that's coming up, the next non-hip hop joint that's coming up is the Isley Brothers and Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh my, yeah, baby.
Oh,
yes, sir. That's gonna
come
be
on.
sexy. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. No,
I'll do it again. I'll lean into the mic and do it. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me.
Hey, it's gonna be some babies made during that Versus.
Hell yeah.
Footsteps, baby.
Oh shit.
In the dark.
No.
Help me out, Steph.
No.
So anyway, like I said, that's the next Versus. The Versus after that for the weed smokers, Sherm, 420.
420.
Redman versus Method Man, which I feel, I'm gonna go ahead and say it right now. This is going to be the funniest Versus of all of them, just because of Redman alone. It's not that Method ain't funny, but he ain't Redman funny, and I gotta feel because Redman, he don't know how to act, dog. Like he gonna be who he is, just like Raekwon Ghost. He gonna be. Can I just go
on record and say that those Blackout albums are two slept on albums? Like if you throw those on right now, still not. If they start performing songs from Blackout, man, it's over. It's over.
Yeah, I agree, man. That joint is going to be crazy because both of them got deep catalogs.
Absolutely.
And they got amazing features. They really got some dope features, and then they got collab albums together. I mean, hell, the same was true of Raekwon Ghostface, and we saw how dope that was. Real quick before I move on, let me ask. Hold on, let's go ahead and throw Steph. Steph is shining right now in the chat. Let's go ahead and throw her hate out here. I'm coming for Cash. Look, we're gonna set up a Cash versus Steph versus.
I'm a body. What? I'm a body.
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all gonna be like, oh, I can't believe he 30 there. That's right. 30. You out of there. You out of there.
Yo, but yeah, man. Let me ask y'all this though, before I move on and just say something quick about the Snyder Cut joint. What's a Versus you haven't seen that you would like to see? And Sherm, go first.
A Versus that I have. Oh man, this will never happen. Nas and Jigga.
Yeah. Yo,
that would be the shutdown. That would be the Versus of the gods right there, man.
Yeah.
That would be dope.
That'd be the one that would have the craziest numbers. You know what I mean? Outside of Beyonce and whoever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That would be my number one. Yeah. That would be my number one. But since he said it, I would say Outkast and Tribe. I want to see that.
Oh,
Outkast and Tribe Called Quest.
It's funny. I feel like there's a part of me that kind of would want to see Tribe and De La more than the Outkast. I feel like there's a better matchup for Outkast. I just can't think who it is though.
I kind of feel like that Tribe and De La. I like that. I don't
want to see that. They're too similar in styles, if you ask me. I want to see contrast.
That's why the Raekwon Ghost joint works so well. You see what I'm saying?
A lot of De La.
But the Raekwon Ghost, no, I did listen to De La. Man,
De La has De La got a very different
Tribe.
So in terms of how the raps are delivered and all of that. And keep it a buck, yo. I love Tribe, but De La way more lyrical, yo. Way more lyrical.
Absolutely.
I'm about to listen. I'm gone. I'm done.
Oh man, listen.
I'm done because I know the show it's gonna go way over.
Glasses. Either way, it'll be a toast in the air.
Nah, it's good. I'm FedEx and ass whoopings to both of y'all tomorrow because I'm about to sit here and go through this right now.
Watch this.
I was like, Cash, shut the fuck up.
Let me say my joy. I would like to see Music Soul Child and Bilal.
Bilal's cooking him.
I mean, yeah,
wait,
let me say this. In ability, yes, but music got more mainstream solo stuff. Where Bilal got a lot. Where Bilal will. This is how a lot of people got joints. Bilal got a lot of writing, but he also got some amazing features. Like in terms of his feature game, he's probably almost untouched in terms of what he's done on other people's records.
His production game too.
See, my thing is, I always felt like Music Soul Child was not the best vocalist, but Music Soul Child made great music. You know what I mean? So if it's a rundown, I mean, he's not gonna get in a booth with Bilal and out sing him. But when it comes to the material he made, yeah, he can stack up against Bilal. So yeah, I'll take that back.
Yeah, I think that would be really, really dope. You know, and they've collabed together too. So that's always cool to see. I would have really wanted to see D'Angelo and Bilal in terms of what they're both capable of vocally. That's just been insane. But look, D'Angelo so dope. This nigga had his own joint. He had a Verzuz himself. They need to do that for Buster too. Since people scared to go against Buster, I'm gonna say it just like that. I ain't even gonna change it. Since people scared to go against Buster, they need to do a Buster Rhymes and Friends joint. You know what I mean?
I think Buster should go against Jay.
It's funny. I think Buster. I want to see Buster and Missy Elliott. I think that, like, because where she may not be the lyricist that Buster is in terms of the animated joints, in terms of like these videos that they gave us, in terms of like the joints that got everybody, you throw that shit on in the club and just people go ape shit. I think that's why they are evenly matched in that respect. But like, you know, but the thing that makes Buster different, like Buster has all of these things that make him unique. And on top of that, this thing is a God tier MC, dog. Like, so that's a tough matchup no matter who you put him up against. But the Jay joint will be interesting because Jay, you know, Jay got the line. I might not be animated to say a Buster Rhymes, but the real shit you get when he bust down my lines. But this nigga Bust just got so many killer features, dog. So many killer features, so many hits from every record, so many classic albums.
So my runner-up just said Naughty by Nature versus Onyx versus.
Oh,
run up.
Okay.
Come on, Steph.
Yeah. Right. She said Naughty but I would like to see Onyx versus MOB. I think that'd be that's a headache.
Right, we got something right here. We be talking about this the rest of the night and Sherm right. You know what I'm saying? Hold up. Sherm, it is on you. Oh, look. Snyder Cut is long, but it's solid. It's solid, but that shit is long. It's 4 hours long. If they took out half of the slow-mo shots, the shit would be at least a half hour shorter. That is my synopsis of the Snyder Cut.
Hey, baby,
it's on you.
We might have a run. We might do a rundown of that one. One off. But go ahead.
Yeah, we could when you know, in a month after y'all finish watching it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, you know that shit long. It's gonna take like a month, bro. You know what I mean?
Myself.
You know what I'm saying? I know Sherm. Sherm gonna fall asleep every 5 minutes in that shit.
What?
Because dog, I know.
I tried to watch it the other night. I got half hour into it,
and you fell asleep.
Yeah.
Exactly. See, look, man, it's 8 half hours, dog. It's 8 half hours, dog.
That's a hell of a movie, man.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but Sherm,
I know you got some big.
Well, yeah, man. Guess who's bringing up the rear? Eyes never clear with a tall can of beer. It's me, motherfucking Sherm. As you know, I don't have no black beer this week. I just got beer. So we got Holy Donut, which is pretty dope.
Holy moly donut chop.
Holy moly donut chop. Sorry, that might have been wrong. We probably shouldn't have done that. No offense to any other culture of people. It was from a movie. We're sorry. But yeah, so this is Imperial Stout with donuts and toasted coconut. This one is fantastic. I love it. It's super. This one it's really sweet. It's not quite a pastry stout, but it is. I think it is very close. I haven't really figured out what the donuts add, because this is my second donut beer. I haven't really figured out what the donuts do for the beer, other than it probably just adds sugar, and maybe being that the donuts have yeast from the donut batter. Shut up. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Granted, please don't listen to the guy at the bottom of the screen. He is garbage. Let me get to my next beer. That's like the fourth time. Let's keep delete. So the next joint I got is Jarbo's Blueberry Stout. It is exactly what you think it is. Elixir of blueberries, cacao, hops, malt, and yeast.
Who's that by?
This is Jarbo's.
Jarbo's, okay.
Yeah,
that sounds good. That sounds good.
As far as a flavor experience, it's interesting. I'm not having that much fun with the flavor, but because it's beer, I'm kind of, when it comes to beer, when it comes to like the most base dealings of beer, I'll drink a fucking beer. I'll drink a fucking beer Weiser if that's all you got. But if I'm choosing my shit, it's going to be something different. But yeah, it's cool.
No, for not the taste all beer. You don't sound like you're impressed with that. You don't sound like you're impressed.
No, I'm not. I'm not impressed with it because it just isn't a lot. And it's from Rockville. This is Rockville, Maryland. So it's a local brewery too.
Okay.
It's just not doing a whole lot for me flavor-wise. I would like for it, if it were me, I would like for it to be a little sweeter, being that it has blueberry. It says blueberry. I would like for it to be a little sweeter on the blueberry side to go with the chocolate in the stout. It tastes more beery than I was expecting for it to taste. I was expecting more tonight, boy.
Remix, making up all types of beer.
That's what all types of words are made up.
Yeah,
man, they got all types of dumb shit in the dictionary. I can make up
serious question though, Sherm. Serious question from Mr. Early Bird. He wants to know, how are the mouthfeels?
So for the Holy Donut, when you first sip it, it's got a bite. So you're gonna get it's really crisp. So you're gonna get the crispness first, but it's really smooth after that. So you're gonna get a good crispness from whatever is making it crisp. I'm a little tipsy, so I'm not gonna be able to find all of my words, but it's definitely smooth down. The blueberry stout, this one is kind of coarse. It's kind of coarse. So, like I said, this is not really doing a lot for me. I will not buy this again. I don't want to deter any beer lovers, craft beer lovers from buying it, but it's not my favorite. So it's kind of coarse and it's not the best flavor. So yeah, there you go, Early. Even though James tried to hate on my shit, I got it in for you.
Listen, if you want to drink glaze, go right ahead, buddy.
Hey man, it's fantastic. I can't wait to crack another one. I'm probably not going to drink 3 beers. I don't drink 3 beers a night. I usually try to keep it at 2. So I wish I would have had the blueberry one first, but I was expecting that one to be a little better.
So I went with the old bussy.
No. I keeps it moving, man. Shut the hell up, man. So, on to the music for this week. Motherfucking man. I wish I had a delete function on your ass. I delete you. You'll never come back. You'll never be back. So, on to the music for the week. You switch my image, man. Put some shit over.
I got you, bro.
Get James off the screen and put Code up there, man.
Don't drop me, man.
Oh man. So Code of the Friend and Static Select.
Code of the Friend. To Kill a Sunshine. I thought it was a pretty clever name. I feel like it's a play on tequila. To kill a sunrise. I fucked that all up. I feel like it's a play on the alcoholic beverage tequila sunrise.
That's dope.
So this is really it's a dope project. I was really surprised to see this drop. I wasn't following any information about it. I did not hear anything about it before it dropped. I just saw it drop and was like, oh shit, Coda and Static. I'm always there for Coda and I'm always there for Static. Let's see what the relationship does. And it made for a pretty dope marriage, man. So if you are a fan of Coda, you know that Coda is a lo-fi MC. He typically raps over, which means he typically raps over lo-fi beats. As soon as I saw this collaboration, I was really, my ears were perked up because I'm like, yo, Static and Coda, that's interesting. But Static did a really good job of really finding a nice middle ground between his production and lo-fi to make a really dope project, man. It's a 10 track project. It doesn't take you long to listen to. I think it's like 33 minutes long. The standout songs to me are Wolves, The Cold, What You Saying, and Dayglow. It's typical Coda. You're not gonna get a whole lot of Coda's not that type of artist, the type of MC that's going to give you all the lyrical acrobatics. He's going to be really personal. He's going to be really witty, and he's going to be extremely vibey. And that's what he is on this project as well. But one thing that he did do on this project, I feel like he tried to add a little more. I feel like he tried to get a little hype on this joint to kind of go with the production, because it wasn't quite lo-fi production. Static jazzed it up a little bit to give it a little more bottom than your average lo-fi production. So I feel, especially on Wolves, I feel like Coda was definitely I feel like he was definitely mugging on Wolves, and I feel like that was a nice way to open up the album. It was really a really different feel. It was almost aggressive, if you can use that word when describing a Coda song. It was almost aggressive. So I would definitely urge everybody to check it out. Did either one of y'all get a chance to listen to it?
No, I haven't listened to it yet.
Nah, I haven't peeped it yet. But I'm excited to hear it. I think that's a dope combination.
Yeah, I listened to the last Coda the Fiend album, which is why I was.
His name is Coda the Fiend. He's your friend. He's not a fiend.
Coda the Fiend. Out here sounding like somebody drunk on that Coda the Fiend. Coda the
man, and I'm doing
Coda the Freak.
Coda the Fool.
Coda the Flip Flop Flim. You know the boy.
What are you saying down there in the basement, Cash?
I listened to the last Coda the Friend album, which is why I was shocked when you told me that he did this next project with Static. So I haven't had a chance to get to it since you texted me the other day, but I got to listen to Coda the Fiend.
Coda the Fiend, Coda the Freak, Coda the Streets, Coda the Streets.
Coda, last time I had a Coda, you could use Codas in the damn in the telephone.
Coda water. You know what I'm saying?
But look, before we get too far gone, we ain't got but a couple minutes left. I definitely got to get my snowfall in. I got to get my snowfall in. So I don't know. I think this was I believe this was episode 4. It's either episode 4 or 5. And this season, like with the passing of John Singleton, they really did a really good job of picking this shit up and almost seamlessly continuing on with his vision. This past episode was really, really heavy. It was heavy because of the fact that it really did a good job of humanizing Scully. And we know through news media what has been done to our inner city brothers who happen to deal in ways that we wouldn't typically agree with
Nefarious
dealing.
activities.
Nefarious activities. I like that. There you go. So, we know what the news media did. They're animals, they're thugs, they're this, they're that. And it even had us, brown and black folk, believing that, you get caught selling weed, you supposed to be in jail. You selling drugs, you supposed to be in jail. You ain't doing this, that, and the third. So we know how the media had us all feeling about it. And I think they're doing an excellent job, or they did an excellent job of humanizing Scully. And spoiler alert, we don't give a fuck about spoilers. So Scully lost his daughter, and like this episode, they had us sitting with Scully and his girlfriend. I'm sorry, I don't remember her name right now, but she's a motherfucking gangster. But they had us sitting with Scully and his girlfriend for most of the episode, and sitting in there with his deceased murdered daughter. And man, you felt like you forgot who Scully was for this point in time. You just felt the fatherhood side of this dude, man. And you felt the fact that like he just lost, like oh my God, man, this shit was so heavy. And it was also heavy because of, you see like how they painted this girl. I love how they did this. Like you see what, like you saw the victim side of Scully's girl when she was screaming in the back of the car, clutching her bleeding daughter. Then you see her in the hospital, not saying a whole bunch. You see her dealings with Man Boy. Their relationship is a little sketchy. And you think, this is just the typical mother who may have gotten involved with the wrong crowd. And she may just be dealing with things the best she can because of the adversity that she's dealing with, until you realize, oh shit, she's with the shits. So I don't want to take up all this time talking about the episode. I definitely want to hear what you got to say, Stan and James. James, if you even watch it, James don't be watching shit. He don't be listening to shit.
I do watch it.
So
and I do.
You go first then. You go first. What you think?
I ain't see this one, so fuck you.
I hate you.
You said I ain't watch. I watch. I just ain't watch this one. I ain't watch this one, motherfucker. Go sip on your blueberries.
Yeah.
You are.
You the worst, man. Cash on one, yeah.
Oh my God. What do you think, Stan?
Over this joy, yeah. Yo, the episode, man. Yo, the episode was, it was crazy, man. Listen, Scully's lady, man, absolutely a G. She, when you see her all broke up, it doesn't, like, especially how the week before closes out, you are not really prepared to see the turn. And the wild thing is, somebody who's seen, like, I mean, if you've been around a lot of death, unfortunately, like, you see how people can go from like broken, those moments where they go from like really broken down to like stoic. And the switch happens so quick, like, like she grieved and she's still grieving, but when she was tired and just like really kind of just done, like with all the bullshit and trying to figure out what the next thing was, once that switch,
when Scully was arguing with the doctor, that's when the switch hit.
Oh yeah, man. When she hit that switch, bro, like it was, woo, that joint made you sit up in your seat. You were just like, oh, who are you? You know what I mean? And it's just like, yo, but that's a mother though. You know what I mean? That's a mother. Like, I mean, how many times have we seen our parents, not necessarily in that exact situation, but go from being like really ran down and hurt and this, that, and the third. But when they got something they got to do and got to get their affairs in order, take care of whatever they got to take on that switch going. And yeah, it was powerful to see, man. I think that actress did an amazing job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, man, I think also seeing Homeboy on the run throughout the episode too.
Leon. Yeah.
Leon, yeah. Seeing Leon on the run, that whole situation was powerful. Like when he sees his mom and that whole conversation
Franklin's mom. No. Yeah, he saw his mom
when he sees his own mom. Yeah, of course, when he sees Franklin's mom, but when he sees his own mom, like, yeah, it was powerful when he saw Franklin's mom too, when she braided his hair and all of that. And yo, man, like, listen, I love the balance that the episode gave, man, in terms of, because we've seen Leon like be the tough guy throughout this series. And so like them giving him the space to be vulnerable now, right? Because he's scared, because he did something that like he can't undo. And he did something to someone who he had no ill will for. Like he killed a baby. And so like giving that character the space to mourn, to also like, you know, like deal with their regret, you know, like revert back into being a child, because we forget, we look at them and because the stuff they're doing is so violent and so crazy that we forget that these dudes are they're not that far removed from being children. You see what I'm saying? Like their acts
graduated from high school 3 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. So like their acts have aged them, and we see them as like men who are like, you know, a lot older than they actually are, but they're not that far removed from being children themselves. And it makes me think of the Black Thought line from that Ghostface song where he's like a young man seeing real strong images. And like, and you know, and what that does to your mind, it makes you kind of grow up quicker than you need to or should. And that's what Leon is. And so when Franklin's mom braids his hair and he just breaks down, yo, like I live for those moments in shows, like, yo, because as somebody who's a youth worker and worked with kids over the years, and you know, I've worked with some dudes who done some wild shit, like, you know, some young guys, man, who are like 15, 16 years old, who got, you know, criminal records that are about as long as our torsos, you know what I mean? So being with these kids, I've seen them do the hard thing and be the tough guys. But when the door closed and we have different conversations and they break down and they feel like they're in a safe space to kind of really let their guard down and let out how they feel. When that moment happened with Leon, yo, like that joint, it was hard to watch, but I'm glad they showed it. You know what I mean? So bro, yeah, dude.
I done had that same situation happen a couple of times right here in the shop, man. I done had a couple of dudes break down, like, because you know I be playing all kind of music, and from time to time, you know, I like to listen to introspective, conscious hip hop. So I done played some shit that done had some dudes in here break down in the chair, man. So
yeah, man. Yeah, no, man, it was a great episode. Yeah, man. You know, I hope next year for the Emmys or whatever they acknowledge the show, because they're doing great work, man. They're making great TV right now, and you know, salute to them. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. Anything else? So that's it for you, bro.
Hell no.
No, I think that's about it. We don't need much else from certain Giacomos, aka J Cash, because he ain't watch shit. He ain't listen to shit. So that's it, man.
I'm gonna peep that Code of the Fiend, though.
Right, that Code of the Fiend.
I'm gonna peep that Code of the Fiend, though.
Code of the Fiend.
Code of the Streets.
That's when you know a band man, you listen to something when he fucked the name up, like Code of the Fiend. He's a friend. Like you not only do you mess his name up, but you go completely to the polar opposite end of what his name could be about.
Oh my God, yeah. That shit is classic,
man. Thank y'all. So I get being that I'm already yapping, I was just gonna go ahead and close it out, or
I got you, man. I got you.
Damn, man.
You know, we'll take care of the business real quick. Look, Thank y'all so much for watching. If you have not hit the like button already, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, make sure you hit the like button, hit that share button as well. Let other people check it out. If you missed our review of episode 1 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, make sure you go check that out. Also, another video, shout out to everyone who's been watching the Biggie video where we talked about our top 3, Biggie songs, Biggie videos, Biggie verses, where we were paying homage to him on the day of his passing. Check that video out if you have not as well. It's our most popular video. It's just putting up some numbers, you know what I mean? Some modest numbers. We are proud of it. And we're planning to do more stuff like that. So definitely check that out. You know what would be dope, guys? Before we go, what will be dope is when we do when Verzuz is when the Verzuz Redman and Method Man joint. That could be an episode, like that whole.
I'm with it.
Yeah, I think if we all watch that joint, the show after that could be a whole episode just about that, because we already know it's going to be crazy.
It's gonna be epic. That's just gonna be epic.
Definitely with
Just
it.
like the Ghost and Ray
man.
joint.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Especially if Cash watches it too.
I'm gonna watch
So
that.
yeah.
This man with Pornhub must be off the fucking hook, man, because that's probably all he be in there doing.
Hey, whoa.
If we did an episode on Pornhub review, this man probably would have all kind of titles.
Pornhub is outdated. You gotta watch XNXX. But
oh my god!
So on that note, look at the time. We've gone over time, and we're gonna wrap it up before we incriminate ourselves and any further. So, hey, thank y'all so much for watching, man. It's definitely, we've had a great time with y'all. Make sure y'all show love in the comments as well. Let us know what your favorite moment is. And man, if some stuff is coming up that you want us to talk about for next week that maybe we're not aware of, you know what I'm saying? Maybe. Oh, my little one's having all the rough time. But yo, if you know of something that you want us to check out, let us know in the comments, all that good stuff. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do that. Fellas, always a pleasure. Like y'all, man.
Yes, sir.
Y'all too, man.
All right, man.
All right.
Y'all, man.
All right, peace, everybody.
Peace. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Yes, sir.